Hello, my name is Ron, and here's my son Mark.
Hello.
And about 2.5 years ago, Mark got a new wheelchair with a motor assist device that helps him around.
It's called the SmartDrive.
Called a SmartDrive by a company called Mobility. And I have a link below to some YouTube video that Mobility has posted to promote the SmartDrive, and it attaches to the back side of Mark's wheelchair. Pull it off right now, and it looks like an oversized hand vacuum cleaner, a dust buster. Oops, I hadn't turned it on, Mark. Here it is. And how do we make this thing go, Mark?
Well, the way this it goes is that this is actually a this wristband controls this the SmartDrive. It looks like a watch, but it's a wristband that controls the SmartDrive. Okay. And the way it goes, and I have to make sure, yeah, it's on. The way it goes is that I tap my my arm to the wheel twice, and it goes. It's on now. And then I tap it twice, and it's off.
Okay. Now suppose you didn't want to go that fast. How would you make it go so it's a little slower?
Well, I have to tap it twice to get it started. Then if I wanted to slow it down, I tap it once. Then it slows down.
Well, it doesn't slow down. It just stays at the speed.
It stays with speed the way I want it.
Okay, so it slowly accelerates, and when it gets to that speed that you want, you tap it once and it'll stay going at speed. Okay, we need to stop it now. All right, thank you. Now, this is a great help, particularly if you're climbing hills or crossing streets and or under situations where it's just difficult to push by hand. But when we first got this, we ran into a fairly serious problem that made it difficult to use. Can you describe for me what that problem is, Mark?
Well, because I have a tendency to put on my brakes to slow myself down, because I can't. There's some limitations there's some limitations that I have, and what happened is that when I slow down, the SmartDrive itself doesn't stop. It keeps on going.
So when you put on your handbrakes, as you customarily do, the wheel locks, that did not shut the motor off, and the motor kept pushing you and pushed you right into the obstacle that you were trying to avoid, because this is Mark's natural tendency, again, to slow down or stop with the wheel locks. As he describes, upper body stability is a problem. If he tries to hand rim brake, the momentum of the wheels will just pull him over. So it's using the wheel locks to stop is not an option for him. It's a necessity.
And we first ran into that. I remember that because when we first ran into that, we were testing out the SmartDrive, and we were going to one of our local streets, and I was trying to slow myself down, and the SmartDrive kept on going and ran myself into a lamppost.
That's not a good thing.
No.
So I contacted Max Mobility, and they were kind enough to reply to my inquiry, and my question to them was do you have any kind of accessory that will interface the SmartDrive motor with the wheel locks, the brakes, so that if the user applies the brakes, that will shut the motor off. And the reply to me was, no, they don't have such an accessory, but they suggested we use an accessory they do have called a throttle button. And throttle button, I have a link below to that information about that accessory. And what it does is it's a cable that plugs into the SmartDrive charging port, and you mark the buttons anywhere you want on the chair. The initial design was that you push the button to make the motor go, and you release the button for it to stop as an alternative to the wristband. But if you've activated the motor with the wristband and you just punch the button, the throttle button, that pulse will stop the motor. And so we use that device, that accessory. It comes with 2 buttons on the cord, and one of the buttons I attach to the Mark's chair if he ever chooses to use it. But the other one, I made an interface with the wheel locks, and so that now if he applies either brake, the motor will stop. I have some videos here I can show you. Mark demonstrating this out in the community. So the way I made this interface between the throttle button and the wheel locks is I attach to the back of each of the brakes a little magnet, and so when the wheel lock is engaged, can you push it, Mark? All right.
Push it.
All right. That magnet comes near a proximity switch, which triggers a series of pulses to the throttle button, simulating pushing that button, punching it to shut off the motor. And as long as the wheel locks are engaged, that motor will not start. In fact, we can demonstrate this now. Your wheel locks are engaged?
Yep.
Okay. No, you just disengage them. Engage them again. Now start the motor. All right? All right? It's on?
It's on now.
Okay.
So, tap it.
And he's not going anywhere.
Nothing happens.
Because the brakes are engaged. Now, just a demonstration, we didn't cheat. Release your brake. Now do it. Oh, stop.
Yeah, that happens.
Okay, when does that happen?
That happens when I want to go places. Although the other thing that happens is that there are times when if I'm in a meeting or something and I watch an end of a presentation and other people are clapping, then the SmartDrive would go on, and I have to remind myself that the SmartDrive is on, and I have to slam on my brakes to get them off.
But very often when you're in a setting like that and you know you're not going to be moving around, you put your brakes on.
Put my brakes on, yeah.
And then if as long as your brakes are on, you can do all the moving and clapping and slapping you want.
Right.
And that SmartDrive will not engage.
Right.
So, the reason we have shared this video with you is to encourage the very smart engineers over at Max Mobility to make an accessory like this available to everyone. We are not the only ones who have had this concern about the safety of the SmartDrive in doing quick stops. Sometimes things happen and you got to stop quickly, and you just don't have time to remember, oh, I gotta slap this twice because I'm not doing this every day and control my chair, and then do whatever I need to do to stop the chair. That just simply applying the brakes, the wheel locks will disengage the motor, and the chair user will be safe then. So if we could come up with something like this, you good folks at Max Mobility certainly could come up with something even better for we who have enjoyed and appreciated this accessory, and because of the adaptation that I made for this, we are now Mark feels safe using it. So below is a link on the circuit description and details on how I built this interface, and I would hope the good folks at Max Mobility will come up with something better and make it available on their website. And as soon as they do, I'll take this video off. Thank you very much.
Thank you.